Whew. So, the perforated lightweight mouse space is heavily saturated with an abundance of high-end and more affordable options. Is the Model D just another sub 70 gram mouse, or does it bring something new to the table? Let's go and find out. The Model D is a lightweight, ergonomic gaming mouse from Glorious PC Gaming. The packaging follows a flat box design, which some of you who've picked up the Model O recently will be more familiar with. Those who are more OG Glorious PC fans and picked up the Model O when it was first released will have experienced the more squashed packaging. The reason they changed this is because the earlier packaging resulted in the cable getting kinks in it, which caused mouse disconnection issues. So Glorious decided to switch it up and change their packaging to prevent kinks. But I still found myself having to unwind the cable quite carefully because there was a few kinks in there. So you get the mouse itself, and underneath you get a few stickers and leaflets. Nothing of much interest to me, so let's move on swiftly. The mouse features a split shell design with the two main triggers and a DPI button on the top, and two rather large side buttons. It comes in both matte and glossy, with the matte one coming in at $49 and the glossy one coming in at $59. I purchased the matte version, so I can't comment on the glossy one, but I presume that'll just be a bit grippier than the matte version. The Model D is big, with it measuring 128mm in length, 67mm at the rear flare, 61 at the front and 63 at the grip, with a 42mm height. The matte version comes in at 68 grams, with the glossy version just being 1 gram heavier at 69. So it does come with Glorious's. So it does come with Glorious's new Ascended cable, which is essentially the same flexibility as their old cable, but a tighter weave. The cable on this is miles more flexible than all the other mice I own. It's more flexible than the Razer ones, the Logitech ones. It's just a great cable, to be honest. The stock cable for both colours and finishes of the mouse is black, but it can be replaced with the different coloured ones that Glorious sells on their website, and they include pre-made stress reliefs. I don't really know what that means, but I've heard that it makes swapping out the cables a lot easier. I can't forget the little details that Glorious have implemented into this mouse, like the Glorious logo on the outside of the mouse and the bearded logo on the inside, which reminds me of my favourite YouTuber, Badsy Tech. This mouse is sporting a Pixart 3360 sensor, and I have to say it performs outstandingly. I've also got the Razer Viper Mini and the G502, and I have to say this mouse performs way better than the Razer Viper Mini and on par with the G502. The Viper Mini may have an issue with lift-off distance, I'm not too sure, but we'll get into that when we do a review on it. If you want that, let me know in the comments. The Model D has 4 DPI profiles with 400, 800, 1600 and 3200 assigned to them out of the box. And there's an indicator LED on the bottom of the mouse which lights up different colours when each profile is active. This is really great because it means you aren't forced to install software. It's literally plug and play. If you don't like the stock profiles, you can always download Glorious's software, reassign the profiles and delete the software afterwards. You've done a good job here, Glorious. Oh, before I forget, you can also add 2 more profiles to the mouse if you go into the software. That makes a total of 6. The Glorious Model D features 4 small PTFE feet in each corner of the mouse, which provide one hell of a glide. It also comes with 2 additional larger feet in the box that you can add to the underside of the mouse to increase surface area. Do note though that the additional feet don't sit flush with the stock feet, so they're basically useless. Inside the Model D, you'll find Omron 20 million switches. The switches are light and crisp with no post travel if you have a light hand. If you apply unnecessary additional force, however, you get a good amount of post. So if you're quite heavy handed like I am, keep that in mind. Both side triggers show a little bit of pre-travel if you're being delicate with no post travel, and the back trigger has a little bit more wiggle than the front one. Glorious have been known to have some quality control issues in the past, this starting from their first Ascended cable. With them being fairly new in the mouse game, issues are to be expected, which is why it comes as a surprise to me how they grounded their feet and made a name for themselves so fast. Aside from the Model O, I feel the main factor to their success has been their customer service, so if you do ever encounter a problem with the Model D, don't hesitate to contact them because they're more than happy to help. With this Model D, there is case flex and button actuation if you apply enough pressure to the top and bottom, and if you squeeze on the sides with both thumbs. There's also a little bit of light bleed in the cracks at the bottom of the mouse. Although these minute things are present, they won't affect your performance in any way. However, it's my responsibility as a reviewer to make sure you guys are aware of every little detail. So here's the part where I give you guys my very subjective personal opinion about this mouse. But that's what you came for, right? Let's start with the fact that I have massive hands, coming in at 21.5 centimeters by 11.5, and this mouse fits my hand like a glove. That should tell you that this mouse is on the larger side, so those with smaller hands should go for a smaller package like the Model D-. The lightweight nature of this mouse and that matte coating make it slippier than I'm used to, so I recommend going for that gloss version I mentioned at the start of this video, or purchasing yourself some skins, which really help with grip. I've put some on my main mouse, the Razer Viper Mini, and I have to say I'm probably never going back. Do note though that adding grips will add weight to the mouse, so if you're purely going for weight, don't bother adding grips. This mouse is a top mouse when it comes to performance. It's responsive, it's precise, and it's just great. I do prefer smaller mice, and this one is on the larger size, so I wouldn't say it's my main mouse, but for those of you looking for a more ergonomic, larger mouse for gaming, this is brilliant. For $49 you're getting a solid, high quality, affordable offering from Glorious PC Gaming, with all the bells and whistles for it to compete against the more expensive offerings from companies competing in the lightweight space. So there you have it guys, that's my review of the Glorious Model D. If you managed to make it this far and you liked what you saw, do consider liking. If you want to see more content like this in the future, consider subscribing and tap that bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. So I'll see you guys next Saturday for another one, and until then, be patient.